Well, it's Saturday, and you all know what that means. AEW Collision has some interesting matches. The rated R superstar Cope takes on Big Will, so he's going to chop up some wood. Well, what should I say? Redwood. And of course, we have other matches that are taking place, but the main event features Dax Harwood taking on Chris Jericho. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling's first show of 2025 in Corkin Hall with the Tokyo Joshi Pro 25 that took place on the 4th of January, ironically, which was the same day of Wrestle Kingdom. But of course, there's no news updates for today. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world. Pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got to do Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been said. I believe it's time to get this show on the road. So, let's begin with our very first review, and this was from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling with Tokyo Joshi Pro 25. Well, it's 2025. This took place recently on the 4th of January in Corkin Hall. Now, of course, like usually, we have Sayuri Namba greeting the fans, giving the lowdown of the entire event. But however, she introduced Sanjiro Tagagi, the founder of Tokyo Pro Wrestling. He had some special news. Now, those who know this or not, DDT Pro Wrestling has been known for their interesting matches other than doing the ring, having events in, of course, in trains, in pools, saunas, the streets of Tokyo. Well, not too long ago, Tokyo Pro Wrestling did two different events on two different times. Back in 2020, they did an event in the streets of Tokyo, and then of course they did a pool event the following year, and then an aquarium last year. But now it appears on, of course, on the 15th of March, they will have the first ever train match. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And here's who's going to be involved. We have team number one. We have Miyu Watanabe, Mizuki, Raku, and Aja Kong taking on Miyu Yamashita, Maki Ito, Yuki Arai, and Max Ciampero. Now, the entire event will be lasting about 2 hours and 2 hours and a half. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So can't wait to see it. So that's pretty much some good news. The Up Up Girls, of course, were about to do their performance until they were interrupted by Hyper Misao. Don't know exactly what she wanted, but I'm sure it was important. Now, our first match, we have Chika Nanaze with and Toga, and of course, Toga has a brand new theme. We have Mifu Ashida, who makes her debut, who wrestled an Ice Ribbon. She teams up with Himawari. However, we we have seen Toga has been making some great headway. We've seen her how much she has grown. So this was a perfect opportunity. She was able to pick up a good win with a sidewalk slam, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, we have Ivy Steele, Kira Summer, and Matcha taking on Yoshiko Hasagawa, the bird of Tokyo Pro Wrestling, Kaya Toribami, and Ryo Mizunami. Um, Good match, of course, when Ryo Mizunami, she does the chops, but she was able to pick up a win on Ivy Steele's when she applied a spear, and just like that, it was completely over. Now, our next match, this one features Bryce Rensburg from AEW being the ref of the day. He has to contend with Pam Adajuku, Raku, and Riku Anu, taking on the resident cat, Haruna Neko, and of course the apologetic Mahiru Kiru, and of course the legend Aja Kong. So, however, Aja Kong is a very difficult wrestler to put down due to her size, but of course her legend status. But luckily, it was well, we did see um, Mahiru gets ganged up not only by her own teammates but their opponents. But she did play the apologetic as always. But in the end, it was Yuki Aino who picked up the win with the Venus DDT onto Neko, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our next match, we have this thing called the New Year's Lumber Snake Death Match. Shoko Nakajima was cast a spell by a guy named forgot his name, Poison Jules or whatever. But yes, Shoko Nakajima became known as Shoko Nakajama, and of course, Hyper Misao has to find ways to go around it, and she was able to do that when she pinned Nakajima, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have Shino Suzuki and Arisu Endo taking on Moka Miyamoto, now debuting as a blonde, and of course, what's her name? Yuka Sakazaki making her presence known. Now, of course, it's no secret Yuka Sakazaki was going to win this match because, of course, she's the fan favorite by many people. She picked up a hell of a win when she applied the Magical Girl Splash onto Shino Suzuki, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have Wakana Uehara and Rika Tatsumi taking on Li Ying Lee, formerly known as Zaya Lee, taking on Yuki Kamifuku. So you probably think that Yuki Kamifuku will pick up the win. No, it was Li Ying Ying with the Thunderstruck onto Wakana, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, this is one of 3 title matches. The International Princess title. Suzumi challenges for the belt against Yuki Arai. Yuki Arai has been well recognized as the longest defending wrestler, but however, she didn't defend the belt often due to her duties as a idol. But now that she's announcing her retirement as an idol, we don't know how that play out. But I have to say, a great moment where we did see Suzumi try to apply the ring of belt, but later she tried like a version of the Oz Cutter, but I called it the springboard ring a bell, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new champion. So I enjoyed it completely. Our next match, we have the Princess Tag Team titles on the line. Zara Zacher and Masha Savage team up. They take on 121 00000, consistent of Maki Ito, Miyu Yamashita. Maki Ito has a brand new theme. I thought it was a pretty good one. However, the match was pretty good. I have to say, you would have thought that Slavich and Zakar were the ones that were dominant in this ring, but however, it was in fact a great combination of the kicking techniques by Miyu Yamashita that allowed her to pick up the win on Zakar when she applied a knee strike or a Kamigoya type, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our main event, we have, of course, the Princess of Princess Championship, or better known as the Pop title. Mizuki challenges the belt against Miyu Watanabe. Miyu Watanabe has been an excellent champion. We have seen how much resilience she has, but however, Mizuki has felt that she hasn't won the belt entirely the way she would have wanted it, and she pulled up all the stops no matter what, and she applied the cutie special, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, Yuka Sakazaki was watching this, um, but I'm not sure if she'll challenge her, but that's something we will have to wait and see until then. But for now, we'll end things here with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and move on with our last and final review, and that is AEW Collision. Okay, AEW Collision. We open up with, of course, the rated R superstar Cope taking on Big Bill so he can chop some red wood, like he said. So I thought the match was pretty good. You would have assumed that Adam Cope would actually try to pick up a win by his usual standard. But however, what it was interesting is that he applied a page out of the Death Riders playbook, those elbows to the side of the neck of the opponent. He did that, then put, of course, Big Bill in a chokehold, and just like that, it was over. Ref called the match. Cope is the winner, but however, Jericho and Brian Keith could not take this, so they retaliated. But luckily, FTR was there to back him up, so things like that turned for the great. Now, as you know, there's been tensions between Hangman Adam Page and Christopher Daniels. He talked about his family, about how things have been torn apart with him and his wife and son. Talk about the AEW World title. So basically, he has some unfinished business now with Christopher Daniels and said that he will deal with them in a Texas death match. So we'll see where that goes. Our next match, we have the Bastard Pack taking on Komander. What a good match. There were some great spots on this one. I think many people would have loved to see Komander win, but however, Pac showing what he's all about. Komander did the shooting star press or 450, but apparently the knees were on top. But this allowed for Pac to apply the brutalizer, and just like that, it was over. However, the Death Riders showed up, and then the Outrunners showed up too. But you would have expected this was going to be an interesting match. But however, it was, of course, the rocket launcher by Wheeler Yuta onto Turbo that allowed him to pick up the win, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, as you know, Powerhouse Hobbs is the number one contender for the AEW World title. It seems that his sights are now on Jon Moxley, and he's calling him his little bitch. So we'll see where that goes. Our next match, we have Harley Cameron and Mariah May in a non-title match. However, I think many of us assumed, yeah, this one was going to go with Mariah May, and she did pick up the win with the Storm Zero, so we'll see what happens. Until then, we do know they will have a Casino Gauntlet match and see who will be the number one to take on them in Australia soon, so we'll see what that happens. Now, Brody King takes on Trevor Blackwell. Well, you can tell this match was already over. Brody King made his point straight. However, during an interview, he was telling about what a great match he had. But however, Cope talked about a few things about him, much like we saw with Will Ospreay and Buddy Matthews. So we'll see how things will go from there. Now we did see not a TNT title match. We have Katsuyori Shibata taking on Daniel Garcia. Good match. I mean, we know this is not the first time these guys faced. They have challenged for the pure title. That's something we do remember. But however, it was Daniel Garcia with a jackknife that allowed him to pick up the win, and just like that, it was over. As for our main event, Jericho versus Dax Harwood, but of course, there was going to be some interesting moments. Bryce Remember's eyes were being blind, and then Jericho, of course, used the Judas Effects in order to pick up the win, and that's how things rolled. But however, we did see um, a retaliation by Keith and Big Bill, and then Cope and Cash showed up to even the odds, and then we did see the Death Riders, who still have a grudge against Adam Copeland, but however, of course, they were trying to take out Copeland the same way they did to Bryan Danielson, but luckily the Outrunners showed up. Then later Mox and Marina showed up until um, Powerhouse Hobbs showed up, and it appears now Moxley looks worried. Should he be concerned? That's something we'll probably have to wait and see. But for now, we'll end things here with AEW Collision and move on with, of course, saying, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we'll probably see what happens. Things I know we have the latest New Japan Battle of the Valley and the latest MLW event. Stardom is also happening, so we'll see how things work out. I haven't seen the latest Stardom show event yet, but we'll see how things will roll up. But for now, we'll just leave things as it is, and of course, wing it. So we'll leave things like that. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.